So turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
Welcome everybody. It's our, well, for me at least, it's my favorite time of the year. I get to reflect on the previous year. I get to put things in order, and we get to talk about it. But first, let me introduce my co-host, D. D, how's it going?
Hey y'all, I'm sorry, and I hate having this in my glasses, but I have had the glasses on all day, which means I can't see without them. So
Yeah, you need those glasses. And
sorry.
for the OG listeners of the podcast, we have a special treat for you. A blast from the past.
Who it is? Who it is?
Courtney.
Hey!
I was about to say, let me in. Let me in. And I have
How's
a
it
small
going?
Pikachu on top of a very large Pikachu.
Way too many Pikachus.
Oh, yeah, there's one behind me, too.
Is there such thing as so many Pikachus?
There's no such thing. He's a hater.
Oh, okay, there's no such thing.
Okay.
But hi, I'm here to hate because I have half the amount of shows I like than everyone else here. I sent a message and I was like, guys, I just realized that I'm just a hater because I couldn't come up with 10. I spent my whole entire lunch break and I was like, I can't do it.
But you know what? That's perfect though. That's gonna be really good for like one question we have later because I'm curious to know like what you hate and why you hate it. But before we get started, we also have another guest coming. Once he hops on, I'll bring him in. But we'll start with general impressions now. It's been a crazy year for TV, so I'll just go around and ask everyone what they think about this year. Like, was it a good year for TV? Was it a bad year? Courtney, I'll start with you since you have a lot to hate.
I mean, I don't think it was like a bad year. I just think that the effects of the pandemic are felt with a lot of these shows. Like there was one it's not on my list, and I was wanting to enjoy it. It just came out, so I'm not going to say anything. Was The Witcher. It's one of those things that's like obviously cut very short and sped through, which I felt a lot of shows were. It's just. And I think it's not 100% their fault because again, you're working with a pandemic, but yeah, I just think you can feel the effects of the pandemic in a lot of the shows this year because a lot of them were supposed to happen a year ago.
Yeah, that's a good point, and that's actually why one show I'm a fan of actually didn't make my list, and I'll talk more about that later. But D, what about you? How do you feel about this year in TV?
Well, no, I don't think my standards are as high as most people when it comes to TV. So unless it's like bad, then I usually say okay, whatever, because I don't mind just watching mindless TV.
I'm sorry, I was just thinking about the show.
You know what it is, yeah. We'll get to that one, but I have to agree with Courtney. There were, I mean, the pandemic is still what it is, so the shows. It almost kind of feels like the writer's strike. You remember the writer's strike back?
Yeah, it does feel like the writer's strike. You're right. Yeah, it has the same
so
vibes.
Like the story, they're there, but something's
that
missing.
gave rise to reality TV.
Oh my god, yeah. So yeah, but it was fine. It's okay.
Yeah, it's like it wasn't horrible because last year was just like nothing, but this year I just feel like you could feel the effects. But it's not 100% their fault.
Also, I just like to let me toss up Joe's comment really quick.
Stop! Like that's what we were talking about.
Trust me,
we're gonna talk about it.
We will get to that later. Trust me.
Are you not gonna say hi to your mother?
I say hi, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Mom.
But yeah, it's weird because I'm actually like on the opposite end of you two. I actually think it was like a great year for TV because on the other podcast, AJ and I talk about this thing that happened in music last year. While the big artists held back their albums and they say, you know what, we know like it won't sell, we can't tour, so we're gonna hold it back for another year. And I feel like that's what happened with like a lot of TV shows because I discovered things that were probably meant to come out last year that came out this year. And it was and I missed a lot too. Like for instance, I did get around to Mayor of Easttown. Like apologies, Kate Winslet, please forgive me, but I didn't get around to that. But I still caught some things that were like really, really, really good. And I think we got so much this year, partially because like these streaming services, and I'm never paying for Peacock, by the way, but these streaming services like launch their content. So there's like a lot going on and it's hard to like really keep up. But yeah, I do think it was a good year for TV overall.
Why Peacock catch the straight?
Because I'm not signing up for Peacock. I'm sorry.
But why specifically?
Just live my life and
what is it about Peacock?
Passwords.
What is it about Peacock specifically, though?
The audacity, like why do you need a streaming service? Why does Paramount Plus need a streaming service?
I told you we've been going over this. So we're gonna end up with cable again.
We are at cable again.
We're at cable again. Except for me, who is using every one of my family's passwords, and we only pay for YouTube TV.
Someone is going to say, you know what? We could bundle all of these streaming services together, and we're going to have cable again.
Because there's AMC Plus, there's Peacock, there's Paramount Plus,
I feel
there's
like
BT
Netflix.
Plus. There's.
Oh gosh.
It seems like there's a plus for every station except like Fox and ABC.
Mm.
ABC aren't they Disney owned? So all their stuff is on Disney Plus. But I feel like, and I feel like Netflix might be the one to like let's bundle because they've lost so much money in this streaming boom. So I feel like Netflix or Disney, because Disney's just evil like that, are gonna be one of those two is gonna be the one.
It was cheaper. That's what I'm down for.
So just gonna use torrents.
Just use other people's, like everyone just crowdsource your passwords. Like that's it. That's how you until they catch us and say you can only have so many households.
That's how we win.
All right, but let me get into the format of this show and how this is going to work. So Courtney only has 5, so she's
I wasn't lying.
It's cool, don't worry. So she's gonna hang out for this first round, but D and I, we're going to go through and we're going to give our 10 through 6. We're just gonna like quickly list those off, and then we're gonna do a round robin for 5 through 1, and then we're going to talk about why we picked this particular show. And if someone has that show in their list, we'll like tell the number that it, like for instance, like Ted Lasso, I'm pretty sure that's something on like multiple people's lists. So we'll say like, oh, this is my number 5, this is my number 1, and then that's how we'll do. Yo, what's up, Courtney?
I was going to say, don't hate on me because Ted Lasso's not mine, because this is one of the shows you've been bullying me to watch, and I haven't fully watched it yet. So
I see we have work to do. We have work to do.
You see my mom right now, like every single podcast, she's like, "Where's AJ?"
We will have another guest, Miss Cindy, but
favorites.
But D, go ahead and get into your 10 through 6.
Ladies first. My number 10. Okay. I want to make sure people understand. My list is not necessarily by what show was better. It's more based on what show I was more excited to watch or that I wanted to see. So it's more viewer pleasure versus this was just a great show when it comes to ranking, because Ronnie made me rank them. So
I did.
10, Kevin can F himself. 9, Search Party. 8 is Run the World. 7 is Bigger, and 6 is Southside.
Okay. So you're gonna notice a lot of similarities between D and I's list. So here's my 10 through 6. 10, a show that I feel like only D and I watch. I actually made D watch the show. Search Party is on HBO Max. Please watch that if you haven't.
Watch Search Party.
Number 9, there's only one Marvel show on my list, and it's Loki. Loki at number 9. Number 8, Southside. Number 7, I'm gonna go a bit off the beaten path here because it's more of a docuseries than like a scripted TV show. Behind the Hog. I absolutely love that series. And number 6, Insecure.
Behind the Hog counts. It counts.
Yeah, that actually is on my top 5. So
okay.
Let's count it.
Docuseries count.
It counts. It totally counts. All right, so now we're getting into like the real meat of this, and we'll do a round robin for our for like top 5, but we'll start with our number 5. So Courtney, since you did
Hold
get
on, pull it up.
anything.
I already forgot it. It's in my notes app because I have ADHD. I had to put it in my notes app because I won't remember if I don't think about it. Hold on. I had to pick an order. So yeah, I have 2. Remember, before people come for me, like these are shows I enjoyed. Now, this isn't other technical quality or anything like that. It's just things that help me forget what's happening right now. And so my number 5 was WandaVision. And the first, like I said, it's rewatchable. It's better watching it the second time than the first time because the first few episodes are so slow. But when you watch, in my opinion, when you rewatch it, it's like because you get it, it's more fun. I just had fun with it, even though she, committed some very serious, like possibly like crime type things. I found it to be very enjoyable, and it made me forget how bad the world is because I'm like, at least I'm not forced to do something I'm not and living a robot 1950s life. So.
I didn't hate WandaVision. It was a lot different than I expected it to be, so it didn't make my list. But that's not because it wasn't good, and I never rewatched it. That's why I shook my head because I just didn't want to.
I think people are exasperated with Marvel too, though. So it's
it's been a lot.
Yeah,
it's been a lot.
That's why I never watched Hawkeye either. Never done.
No, you didn't watch Hawkeye. Hawkeye was good. It's good.
I'm exasperated with Disney. Other than Spider-Man, that's it.
Get your mind off the world. It's just more of a buddy cop type situation than anything else. Okay, we're doing mine. Am I next?
Yeah. You're number 5. Go ahead.
What is my number 5? You're gonna be surprised that it's this high on the list, but my number 5 is Succession. And it's that high just because the other 4, like I said, I was anticipating more than Succession. And it's not that I didn't want, like I was waiting every week for Succession also, but then I had to put, my list goes more, if it's lighter, then that's probably higher on my list because stuff that takes emotional investment is a little bit lower just because it's like, I'm excited to watch it, but I'm also thinking about how I'm going to feel once it's done. So yes, Succession is my number 5. I'm sure it's higher on your list. Maybe. No, maybe.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and get into it now. So Succession is my number 4. And the reason and so we're kind of close. And the reason I say that is no matter how good Succession is, I only watch Succession to like kind of hit like those pleasure sensors. Like I don't really like dive deep into it. It's just a really enjoyable show. And my list is totally to me on like basically like the technical aspect and entertainment. So it's like an intersection of those things. And to me, like Succession is like a really entertaining show, but it does a lot of things like, even though I feel like this season was actually like better in that regard, but it does a lot of things where I'm just like, okay, I could do without that. Like we've talked about the weird Zoom thing, but let me get back to my number 5. Let me have the floor. Let me go on a rant a little bit. So my number 5 is a show that's actually still running. The season won't end until like
I know what it is.
Second week of January. It's been a very long time since a new show has like really captured me like this, because typically like it happens all the time. Like people tell you like, oh, you should watch this new show, and you watch it, and just like, okay, that was all right. But this new show has like everything I like in a TV show. It grabs me week to week. It's creepy, it's funny at times, but it's also like very mysterious. It's on Showtime if you want to watch it. It's a show called Yellow Jackets. I highly recommend that show. It is amazing. It is. So yeah, my number 5 is Yellow Jackets. But let me pause here because we do have another guest.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, people. Ryan.
See, Mom, he's here.
It's Ryan.
There was a spill of cran grape, and I had to.
It happens, you know. You gotta get the cran grape.
The closet is back.
It's back. It's back. I even have a blanket behind me because that was a good idea. In theory, in practice, not so much.
It's okay.
The other one's buried under here somewhere.
Ryan does indeed exist.
Let me catch you up to speed. So, how long is your list?
I have 10.
Okay, so this what you do first.
Okay.
Just ring off your 10 through 6, and then like give like a lengthy explanation for your number 5, because we're gonna do a round robin for like 1 through 5. So like just quickly list off your 10 through 6, then get into your number 5.
I have a reasoning for my number 10, and I want to
Okay,
kind of
well, yeah.
elaborate it a little bit because it's
Okay,
not
go ahead.
scripted TV. So I'll go with my 10 through 6, and then I'll kind of go with my justification. So I added some animated series in here.
Okay.
Hey,
I did.
I have one.
That's fair.
Okay.
I have one.
So I'll go 6 down. So 6 is Falcon and Winter Soldier. Missed the cut of the top 5. 7 is Jellystone. 8 is Hawkeye. Just missed the mark.
I'm not laughing at you.
9 is Monsters at Work. And I'm not drinking anything.
She said Ron. She's talking to Ron. She's talking to her son.
Oh, okay. I missed it.
She's being a mom.
Okay. And then for 10, and let me give my explanation for 10 because you're gonna be like, oh, of course. So 10 is actually Big Brother 23, and this is the reason why.
Because it's your jam. That's why.
Aside from
I know exactly why though, because you have been on this.
I've been on this. So a couple different reasons. So number one, it was the first season with a black winner. First proper season with a black winner. 23 seasons has never happened. But the big thing behind it is
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at Ron's mom. I'm sorry. I'm just not
He's really calling him to task here. The big thing for me is that this was a cast. It was the first cast that CBS implemented their diversity initiative, which is 50% of the cast must be people of color. And so this season we had 6 black contestants. We had a Hispanic contestant, and we had an East Asian contestant. And then I think like 6 white people, and then there's a couple other mixed. It was, but anyway, the importance of it is that all 6 black people were in an alliance and made it to the final 6. That's never happened before. No alliance has ever brought their people that far, that big, that far. And it was done by a bunch of people just coming together who literally hated each other. Like they hated each other, but they made the point to make that happen. So that's why that's in my top 10. It was a historic season. And it was very cool to see because it was kind of like a rebirth after a lot of just like really.
And people were mad too. That's the thing. It was like hilarious how like the white people in there were so mad. Like Ryan was hyping this up to where I was like not like as intently watching it. I was like, dang, this is some. It was good.
But the funny thing is, the white people on the show were like, when they found out, they were like, "Yo, that's dope. I get it. Like I get that y'all did that." But as the white people were like, why are they targeting the white people? Why are the white people
were so mad? The fans were so mad.
Welcome to the last 22 seasons that we've been watching.
And like anytime where white people are upset, I'm interested.
So that's my question. That's my 10 through 6.
Ryan, what was the coalition called?
Mom.
The name of the alliance is called the Cookout.
The Cookout. Now tell me again. You said Jellystone. What is Jellystone?
Jellystone is made by what's his name, C.H. Greenblatt, who did Chowder and a couple other Cartoon Network shows, but it's basically a revitalization of the Hanna-Barbera properties, and it just kind of puts them in this town, where it's like Huckleberry Hound is the mayor, but it just kind of reimagines everybody. Okay, and it's goofy. Like if you watch it, it's mindless entertainment, but it's funny. Ron Funches is in it, and I'm gonna support anything Ron Funches is in. He plays one of the hillbilly bears, the little one. You remember the you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. If you Google it, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Do it again. How's it go?
Yeah, do that again.
I'll pull it up. Either way, but they completely reimagine all the characters, and it's pretty cool. Like it's something that's worth watching. And on a list of stuff that was very top heavy for me this year, it was able to get in.
Okay, so now you got to do your number 5 and give us a.
All right, number 5. True story.
Okay.
True story.
Okay. It was like number 10 on my list, but I had to cut it out because it didn't sneak in. But reasonable.
Okay. This one was just put on to me by a friend. A friend and I just sat and we watched the whole thing a few weeks ago. I had to kind of suspend belief with Kevin Hart taking on a thriller type role, but I love what they did with it. It's even if some of the story beats were kind of obvious or you could see them coming, I still think they kind of did it and wrapped it in a way that made sense. I like the story they told. I thought it was a very nice departure for Kevin Hart. Good for him. But yeah.
I mean, Will Catlett was in it, so.
And Wesley Snipes is giving me very big like Charlie Murphy vibes.
Funny story.
That's one of my mom's favorite people is Wesley Snipes.
back when I had my Twitter account, he blocked me, and I still don't know why.
Probably because
You deserved it, whatever it was.
You know what? I think it was for real. I think it was a blockchain type thing. Somebody said something that I may have laughed, or it was because I was talking about the horrible movie he's in called Gallows Walkers, and I just want everybody to know how bad it is. And I think he got upset. I still love him very much, but Demolition
I'm blocked
Man
by Adam Schefter, and I don't know why.
On the contrary, I told him that Sugar Hill is like a super underrated movie, and he retweeted. He was like, "It is." I wish y'all, like Romello, just such a good
magnificent.
movie. Yes. Shout out to Sugar Hill. But so we'll now get into our number 4. So
I just want to talk. I just want to acknowledge how Ron. You notice our moms are hating on us right now, or earlier.
Yeah,
they're just like, well, they're drinking. My Courtney drinks too. I guess they're adults. See what we did? I'm drinking a Coca-Cola.
Ron, aren't you like 40?
Ryan, really?
Who said that? Kevin, we need that Kevin Hart clip. Damn.
But that's what I'm saying. Number 4, Courtney. What's your number 4?
I'll have to pull up the notes app again because I don't even remember.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay,
I can go. You ready, Courtney?
No, I'm ready. It's Loki.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, my top. Again, this is not technical value. It's just I thought this was so entertaining. Anything with Jonathan Majors is like, just I'll forgive the fact that he didn't go shirtless. I'll forgive it. But that aside, he was so good in this. I can't wait to see him continue to be. I just think he's gonna be such a good villain. I liked them humanizing Loki, and now I'm seeing a lot of people turn on the show and hate it. I thought it was a great, entertaining show for what it was.
I think it was a popular thing to do.
It's a popular thing to do, and I'm like, I get the Marvel fatigue, but like this is something that was different. I thought this was very different for them, and they get into a lot of really cool lore and a lot of really cool concepts. I thought Tom Hiddleston was excellent. Everyone was excellent in this. So just very fun. And I was probably one of the biggest Marvel haters right now. Not like hater, but biggest Marvel fatigue. And this was like, I want to see more of this.
Hiddleston and Jonathan Majors. You could have stopped right there. That's all you needed.
But also, Owen Wilson was so fun. He was so fun, and he didn't say wow. He didn't say wow, and that was really upsetting.
Wow. My number 4 is on Ronnie's favorite streaming platform, Paramount Plus, but it's the game reboot. It's the reboot of the game. Yeah, and I hate that it's on Paramount Plus because one, this is its like second revitalization, so it's already kind of coming from behind because people are probably like they're doing it again, but this story is within the same universe, but they have made it. They've changed it, and because it's on Paramount Plus, of course.
Oh no!
Did I go? Oh, no. I don't know. I don't know why my camera is doing what it's doing, y'all. I'm sorry.
We're blaming Ron.
But it's Ron. Yeah, he's probably cut it off. Mm-hmm. But yeah, but it's actually very good. I'm looking forward to the new episodes every week, and yeah, I just wish more people could watch it because I'm pretty sure not many people are watching it because it can get. Oh my gosh! It's on Paramount Plus. I'm gonna kill this camera and just go to the other one. I'm sorry. I don't know, y'all.
A bright camera. I like it.
Yeah. All right. So
it's like Ryan, making like the broken VHS sound.
Yeah. But Ryan, what's your number 4?
All right. Number 4 for me was Squid Game.
I didn't finish it.
It's in my top. That's in my top 2. I won't say which number.
Again, another show that I feel like. So I kind of waited. With a lot of things, kind of wait for the hype to die down. So even though it got spoiled for me and I knew what was going to happen, still was entertained by it. Like, still was very enthralled at the concept. I thought it was incredibly unique, bleak. But I like when you can take an idea and build on it, right? Like the concept of Squid Game we've seen before in other media in terms of people fighting it out for money, or you know what I'm saying, like doing something to the death. But I love the spins they put on it. I love the more personable approaches they took of it. I love the way that they were able to dive into so many different characters, right? Like we were able to kind of get so many different character arcs. The ending, I'm iffy on the ending. I get it, and I get why that's the story he wanted to tell. But other than that, I feel like if the ending would have landed better, I would have moved it up further.
Okay. I might finish it since you're highly recommending it.
You should.
You should. It's on my list.
I haven't watched it, but I will say this: in a year where like studios are putting tons of money behind like big IP, like The Wheel of Time, Lord of the Rings is coming, The Witcher. It is really cool to see something like organic, like just totally take off, like by word of mouth, because that show came from nowhere, like really, really low budget, foreign language. People typically don't have the mental bandwidth to sit through foreign language shows, but it's really cool seeing that show take off and be something organic. So I'm curious about it. So no spoilers, but even though I kind of could figure out what happens, but yeah, I'm really curious to hop into that show and see what happens with it. I think the success of it is really cool.
There's supposed to be, I think they've already agreed to make a second season.
There will be a second season, yes.
Ronnie is not doing his job by putting the comments on the screen, by the way. I didn't sign it.
He's not.
Because the comments are.
He's suppressing the speech.
Careful.
I was going to say the comments are more like just like talking amongst each other. Like,
I care about
You're right.
If you want to comment on the screen, then I'll put
Number 4.
But
if y'all don't know, Ron and I are basically cousins now. So
we are.
Yeah, I know basically this is what it is.
I already gave my number 4, so I'm actually gonna we'll just hop into
you did.
We'll just hop into 3. My number 3
is pretty much related on you too. To you too.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, we're all family here. My number 3 would be my number 1 in any other year. But
okay.
Any other?
Let me finish. But because like this was such a good year, and my number 2 are like so strong. Like this is at number 3. It's Ted Lasso, magnificent show. This season took like a bit of a dark turn, but it shows the versatility of this show in this writing room. It did a lot of things like it spoke on race in a way I wasn't expecting. It spoke on mental health in a way I wasn't expecting. But yeah, it's a really amazing show. Like there's not enough superlatives to describe this show. It's just a really good show, and it's the one show, much like Scrubs, which is also like one of my favorite shows of all time, where I'm just gonna say this: if you say you dislike Ted Lasso, I'm like judging you like off top. Like if you say you dislike Ted Lasso, I'm just like I don't want to hear your opinion on anything else. So yeah, Ted Lasso is my number 3. So we'll go back this way. D, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Insecure. That is my number 3. I really, really, really enjoyed the show as a whole. And I guess it's kind of cheating because we're just supposed to be doing this year, but I think it counts because this final season, I think it's difficult for anybody. Yeah, that's true, AJ.
Yeah.
AJ comment.
I think with Insecure, it's it was just like a without trying to be, extra, I guess it really was like a moment in time for a lot of people, and it's just a great show. It's not for everybody, which is fine, but it's still a really, really good show, and I liked it a lot, and I'm glad that I was able to watch it, in real time, and then seeing her coming from ABG on YouTube to where she is now, it's awesome. It's beautiful. It's inspiring, and it's just dope on all levels. And then her, like as far as Lisa as a person, but the show itself was also very, very good, and I'm glad I watched it. And I even liked the finale. I know a lot of people didn't, but I really don't know another way you could have done it.
I was going to say, let me interject before we go to Courtney.
I was going to say, I have something to say. Yeah,
the season finale is one of the most well thought out, comprehensive season finales I've ever seen. Like it really brings everything full circle, and the fact that the birthdays were the catalyst for the season finale, and we literally start with a birthday in episode 1, season 1. For them to have, and plus, you know, like I'm really into like camera work and stuff, and the cinematography on Insecure has always been good. The everyone's seen this, forget it. So the scene where she's walking away from the mirror and you no longer see her reflection, I'm just like, yeah, just amazing. So yeah, really, really good touch. I really like the way it ended. Yeah, this show is definitely in the canon of like Black TV shows with like Morton living single, like just any show you could think about, like Girlfriends. Like it's really like up there with those type of shows now in like the scope of Black TV. So yeah, Courtney, take it away.
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, I'm guilty. I was watching it and then I kind of just stopped because I just stopped keeping up. I'll just say, like, the impact that Insecure was, like, I know everything that happens in every episode because that's how much people were talking about it. Like, that's just like what Ron was saying. It's just like so up there. Like, I hope people realize how up there is. You know what I mean? But like, just because people were so like. I knew everything that was happening all the time, and just so many. I know, even though the ending is controversial, even though I know everything that happens in the ending too. I was like, oh yeah, I get that, even though I haven't watched it in forever. But that's just like how big of a deal it is, and I just think that's really, really cool. I really need to catch up, even though I know everything that happens. But it's always could tell when Insecure is happening. I know all the characters' names. I know all the plot because that's how much people are talking about it. And that's just something that I think is really hard to accomplish nowadays. And I think is really special to just like over the years, just the community that has been built. And yeah, I feel proud too. I'm just like, wow.
So Courtney, give us your number 3 quickly before I do something.
Yeah, sorry, I'm like right.
Before I'm gonna while you're doing that, I'm about to do something that I regret.
Oh,
like,
so hold on before she does that, because I want to say one thing I appreciate about Insecure, and I haven't been able to I haven't really been able to keep up since season 1. Like I haven't really watched since then. One thing I appreciate about what they did is they told a story and they got out. Like they didn't drag it out. Walking Dead. They didn't. They weren't, cut prematurely before they wanted to be cut. They came in, they knew a story they wanted to tell, and they wrapped it up. And those are the best shows to me. We don't need 10 seasons. We don't need 11 seasons. Like, tell your story and go. Post your pick and go. That's
can y'all hear me?
No.
Yeah.
Wow, Ryan.
It's mom's favorite. It's mom's favorite.
We haven't been on a podcast together, and I don't know.
I know.
How you?
I know it's all of us.
I just came in to say hi, say you guys are doing great, having a great show. Say hi to Courtney's mom so she can see all of us together. And I was going to dip back out and continue watching from the comments. I ain't had nothing snarky to say. I will apologize because while Courtney was talking about Insecure, I was in the background dancing. That's why Ronnie was laughing when I popped.
But AJ, before you dip out, you have.
See, look at my mom. Bring my mom's comment up.
You want to speak to your favorite shows before you dip out?
Man, I don't watch nothing but anime and basketball.
AJ doesn't have favorite things.
Those are still TV shows.
AJ doesn't have
There's been like 3
things.
basketball seasons in the year, so you can name one of them.
I mean, 86 is probably one of my favorite, and the Digimon reboot was really good. That's really the only new stuff I watched. Digimon reboot was really good, and 86 is one of the best animes out. But yeah, I just wanted to pop in and say hi. Y'all doing a great job. I don't have much else to say. I'll continue lurking from the YouTube comments. Hey, Court's mom. Hey, Ron's mom. Ryan, stop hating on me. I ain't done nothing to you, man. I wasn't hating. Nah, I can't hear you.
The truth. The truth will set you free.
Yeah. Whatever, closet man.
I got a new desk while you hating. I got a new desk.
Hey, listen. I am not mad at the setup at all, Ryan. You got to do it. You got to do what it is. You got to do, man.
Kids are downstairs asleep. Look, I'm off center now. I don't even know how to get the blanket back.
Yeah, that's what you get, man. I ain't even put a snarky name in this time. I just came in here to say what's up to everybody, and now I'm finna go back and watch cartoons while I watch y'all. So,
all right, thanks for joining.
Bye, Jay. Anyway, my number 3 was something I was bullied to watch, but Michael got me to watch it. Was Invincible.
Oh, Michael got me to watch it. So obviously, our bullying wasn't bad enough. Like
She ignores
it don't
us,
matter.
but Michael-
It doesn't matter. Michael says watch it, and now all of a sudden she watched. So
He
now
said we
know
couldn't
what to
watch
do.
anything I wanted to watch until we watched it. So he held
Now
me
we know what to
hostage.
do. When
She
we
does
need something
live
to
with
watch,
him.
we
She
go
doesn't
through
live
Michael.
with
I do live with him, but I thought I really enjoyed it. You know, I love like the trope of like the flipped upside type of Superman kind of thing. I found it so intriguing. I just love like the more adult, mature animated shows. I think I said before that's what I want is more adult animated shows to come to the forefront. I think it was really well done. Just really cared about the characters. The fact that they didn't really like, kind of give in to what was going to happen. I don't want to spoil it. I think it was a great show, but Mom, don't watch it.
Okay.
No.
Mom, you're not allowed to watch it.
You done? I don't want to cut you off. Are you done, Courtney?
No, I'm done. Yeah.
Okay. So I agree with you. Invincible is done well. It's a good show. It's a good plot. It's got great characters. It's the flip of the superhero. I don't think I can stomach another season of it. And it's
It's
not
very
because it's not good. It is very, very violent. And I got through the first season because I don't think I was really wrapping my head around how violent it was. But thinking back, I'm like, I can't do another train scene. I can't do another scene like that first episode. I can't. And I think I was able to get through it the first time because I was just so shocked. Because I could the first episode, you are like,
There are moments where I'm like, just like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And for an animated
so-
show to be able to do that.
yeah, and they really, really dug in, and it's almost like, I know I tell y'all a lot. I really enjoyed the season. I mean, the series Spartacus, and it was very, very, very violent. And it was because the creators were told they could do whatever they wanted, so they pushed the envelope as much as they could. So I almost feel like Invincible is kind of like that, and maybe it'll slack off a little. And if it does, I'll probably watch. But if it's as bad as it was this season, I don't know if I can take it.
Mm.
I don't know. But I suggest y'all watch it.
How do you
Except for
watch
my
The
mom.
Boys,
Except for
then?
my mom, you can't watch it.
How do you watch The Boys, man?
I think the boys toned it down. Like it's not as
No.
bad.
Invincible is animated, but it's like 10 times worse.
It's 10 times worse. Like the boys is violent, but it's not like we have like the city of Chicago being destroyed, and like it shows.
J.K. Simmons is
Seriously, so amazing. Like
Yeah,
it just
shout out
the
to
voice,
Joe.
the
Yeah.
voice acting is just. And then I think I might be wrong. And one thing I appreciated is, of course, one of the main characters. So the main superhero, I guess, well, not Invincible. Invincible's dad is I don't know what you call it. I guess he's a white alien. Oh, that's. I mean, that's known. And then the wife, she's Asian American, and then so they have this son who's obviously biracial, and I think they have a biracial Asian American actor play him, and an Asian American play the mom, and I'm like, that's the bare minimum, but it's the things like that I appreciate.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I feel like
Stephen
it
Yeun is actually
ruins a
Invincible.
show. It ruins a show for me and the fact that they chose someone that was biracial, Asian American, I'm pretty sure. I'm like. That's things that are needed because that kind of stuff will ruin a show for me, and I'm like, well,
All right, so number 3, who I think I lost my spot.
It's on-
So
I think Ryan.
So
It's Ryan.
to answer Miss Angela, I have 4 children, 3 children and a goddaughter, that all live here. My goddaughter's not here right now, but they're 3. They're all downstairs with their mom sleeping.
They're very cute.
Sleeping. My number 3, and I'm so glad Dee said what she said because mine is a technicality, because it was not started this year. But my number 3 is Search Party. And this
I didn't know you watched Search Party.
I didn't know you watched Search Party either.
I told you that.
Yay!
No, you didn't.
I'm glad you watched
I had
it.
to catch up. I caught up on it this year.
Oh,
Okay.
Part of the reason why it's so high, because the most recent season for me was good, but like it doesn't do what the first 3
It's
did.
different.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. But I feel like, and I feel like everything from the first 3 seasons and watching all that this year, like catapulted it for me. But again, the overall story that they're telling, I'm enjoying it. It's got more twists and turns than Georgia Highway, but I really appreciate what they're doing with it. It's just weird. It's just different.
What-
No,
which-
Hamdi,
which
I
season
want to
are
watch
you
it.
on?
I
I'm
want to
sorry,
watch it now.
You
Which
should.
season
I
are
want
you
to
on?
watch it.
I finished 4.
He caught up.
Okay, so let me say this: when she sings
Boys to Men, I'll Make Love to You at That Wedding. I'm just like, oh.
Now I want to watch it.
If you would like to cringe at something, because I have
that makes me want to watch it now. Like that description, I'm like, I need to watch this.
I have to be in the mode to watch it because I'm gonna cringe. I'm gonna cringe. And my face is gonna be stuck because everything they do. Going back to like the first season when they're at the mansion for the they're doing the thing for the girl that's missing or whatever. And they just everything they do is just like, oh my God, why won't you behave like a normal person and not do this shit? Like, what are you doing? Why is this your reaction? So yes, that's my number 3.
Nothing can prepare you for that wedding, y'all.
I really want to watch it.
And it's not like there's this like silly rendition about this girl was singing. Like this was a very serious.
Is it like American Idol? Oh my God, that's so good.
No,
I love it. I love intentional cringe.
There's no context that can really help.
I love intentional cringe.
You just have to see it.
Watch Search Party.
It's everything. I don't
watch it.
I don't. Who is it? And Elliot is just the worst. It's just the worst thing to exist.
But watch Search Party, yes, please.
Search Party. Yes. Search Party is good. Search Party is very good.
All right, so everyone's giving their 3.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, so I my number 2 was already mentioned, but I'm gonna say it again because I want to mention. So I want to speak to it a bit. So my number 2 was
Invincible. My number 2 and honorable mention.
Oh, you chose Invincible. Okay.
So and I chose Invincible because it's a story that I'm familiar with. I read like the first few issues of the comic like way back when. I haven't finished, so I'm actually excited to go on this journey. But it's a pretty faithful adaptation, but not like a beat by beat adaptation. And like Courtney was saying, it really makes you care about the characters because that last episode, what they did with what they did with the characters and make you care about the characters.
Don't say anything of it. It's hard.
I'm not gonna say anything, but yeah, like
I was choked up and Michael's like, "You're crying at a cartoon." I'm like, "Shut up."
No, really, it really makes you feel things like you're invested in Invincible's like journey. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really endearing story, no matter how like dark it is on the other side. So.
And the fact that even if it's animated, like you don't care.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Really well done. So yeah, I enjoy it very much. Yeah. So that's my number 2, Invincible. D, go ahead.
My number 2 is gonna surprise you, but maybe it won't surprise you because it's interchangeable. My number 2 is Underground Railroad.
Okay.
And go ahead. The only reason it is number 2 is again because it is very, 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 very heavy. But it is a beautifully told story, even in all of its sadness and its disappointments and the anger you feel with it. There's vindication through it in a way. And it's just a beautifully told story. I think people should watch it. I know it's difficult for people because it is about the literal. Well, they've made a literal Underground Railroad. So you can imagine what the story is about. It's hard. It's tough to watch, but these stories are still very important, even though they're hard for us to watch, because if our stories aren't told, then other people will tell you that it wasn't that bad, and we still need to see that it was, because you don't need to forget all of the things that our ancestors and everything, the people who have come before us have done for us and done to us. So it is great. It's hard, it's tough, but it is beautiful. And if you can watch it, because I can understand how some people can't get through it, then I suggest it very, very, very highly. It's great. It's on Amazon Prime. I think it should still be on there, right?
Yeah, it's on there.
Yeah, it's on there. So yes, if you can watch it, if you can get through it, you can. Don't feel bad or guilty if you can't, because like I said, it is very heavy. But if you can, give it a watch. Shut up, AJ.
Courtney, go ahead. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is High on the Hog. Okay. So first of all, I love docuseries. Like that's my kind of show. I adore docuseries. I adore food. And also I think one thing I do kind of harp on about is, and I feel like if you're from the South, you should know, the impact that basically anything that you identify as Southern food came from Black people. And then I realized through a lot of discourse on like social media, people don't realize that. And not just food, but just so much of culture, American culture. And it's a story that should be told. And the fact that it's just told, I think, so beautifully, so well. And just the impact. And it's got a lot of my things that I just love. Like, again, singing that song that people apparently don't know. Like,
Yeah.
most of anything comes like what the words that we use, but especially the food comes from Black people, especially from the South. So the fact that I just thought it was a really great way to tell that story and just really well done. I suggest, even if you're not like don't care much about food, I just feel like you should watch this because it's educational for a lot of things you don't know. It's just, and again, I think food's a great way to tell stories. So I highly enjoyed this. And Mom, if you haven't watched it, you would really enjoy this too.
Let me talk on that like a little bit. So in episode 1, when like Dr. Harris is like talking, I can't believe I forget the host's name. But anyway, and she's like, do you know the other word for okra? And he was like, no. She's like, gumbo. I was like, so yeah, it shows you that this food has a story. And like a lot of the customs of like the old world traveled here with us. I particularly like the episode where they go to visit the Gullah Geechee people in South Carolina. Really great episode. So yeah, I think it's only 6 episodes. Like really interesting to watch. So yeah, like please watch that. If there's one thing I could recommend from like my list, it's definitely that show. So please seek that show out if you haven't already.
So good. It's
and what's
so
it on?
Good.
It's on Netflix.
On Netflix. It's okay. And those are the kind of shows that I feel like Netflix is just like that's
so
their
good
thing.
Yeah.
Like that's their thing. Like, oh God, yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, it at least taught everybody that yams and sweet potatoes aren't the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. No, seriously, it's like certain things. Like again, it's like a Southern, like but like again, there were some things I didn't know, and you kind of figure just like a lot of like the origins of a lot of food. I just think. Just such excellent storytelling. Again, I cannot emphasize enough, and it's for everybody. Mom, it's Netflix. It's not a channel.
Yeah, but
leave her alone.
But the educational part of it too is also very important. Like, don't miss out on that, because it not only tells you about the food and the stories behind it, but it represents us too, because they say, okay, well, this was wrong this way because of this. These things are done this way because of this, and it just opens your eyes. It's just.
Especially, and I don't want to go on a tangent, especially in a time where a lot of Black culture, especially Southern Black culture, is being whitewashed on TikTok and Twitter. And I said it again, if I see one more white person try to say child or say it like chili, I'm just like, I grew up only hearing like older Black women say that. So when I saw a 17-year-old white girl say it, I was like, sorry, anyway, like
Chile.
So yeah, I was just like, I saw that, I was just like cringing inside. But no, I think especially in a time where a lot of Black culture and like especially food is being whitewashed, and you're like people are like losing the source. I think like these shows are very important on the educational piece. Of course, y'all know, but it's people like that don't apparently know, even though especially the ones in the South, you should know. You're being obtuse if you act like you don't know.
All right, is it my turn?
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, right. Hit us with your number 2.
Sorry.
All right, here we go.
Mama Angela, I agree.
Really? Numero dos.
Okay.
Okay. So I understand. I understand that a lot of the luster. Well, I use lust, even though
Stop.
a lot of the luster and shine of WandaVision kind of wore off.
Stop! I don't want my mom knowing about that. Stop.
I'm more so talking about. Look, if you got the thirst over Jonathan Majors and over Tom Hiddleston. Ron can have his moment with Catherine Hahn.
His moment. But let's move on.
Anyway.
Yeah, please.
Please. Okay. Everybody's dying. So, I know a lot of the luster wore off with people because there were like 1,000 fan theories that didn't pan out. But I feel like when you step back and look at what WandaVision did, when you step back and look at how it not only paid an homage to television sitcoms and series throughout the decades, it also told a pretty enticing story to me. It told one that like it told a concrete story that on Wanda's grief. And I feel like for it being self-contained and what they were trying to do, it works out perfectly. I think I have a theory as well, but I'll get into that. But I feel like it's so well done. It was so captivating. I couldn't remember the last time a weekly series had me so hooked to where I was like, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. to watch this new episode because I need to know what happens.
Yeah. Like, remember, we were like, you better watch the show now so we can talk about it. That's how we were.
Yeah. Like,
and we were so insufferable with our theories, but that's what made it fun. Not to cut you off, but yeah, it made so fun.
And to me,
I have WandaVision, by the way, Jonathan.
Yeah, WandaVision. Yeah, WandaVision was number 2. So I have a theory too. Oh,
Sorry,
she said, I'm grown, Goofy. Ooh.
See, that my mom's the way that I am. So this is why I'm, anyway.
5 a.m. Samantha.
5 a.m. Sam. 5 a.m. Samantha. Okay. So I have a theory about all that. Because remember how COVID messed up all the Marvel filming schedules.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it was supposed to be like WandaVision was supposed to be one of the last ones before Black Widow and Shang-Chi and all that. So if you look at all the other series, if you look at Loki, if you look at Falcon and Winter Soldier, if you look at Hawkeye, the things that they're setting up are very obvious, right? If you have any kind of idea of what's going on, you know what's coming Falcon and Winter Soldier, you know what's coming in Loki, and you know what's coming in Hawkeye. I believe that the idea was that with WandaVision coming last, it was supposed to throw you off because you would have this pattern of figuring out what's happening in these series, and then here's the one that throws you for the loop. Because everything is setting up Mephisto. Everything is, this is Mephisto. This is Mephisto.
They trolled us.
To the point where not even just us, but like all the people that do like all the comic book theories and all the videos on YouTube, they're saying like, oh yeah, this is Mephisto. Like there's no way.
There wasn't even like things directly pointing towards Mephisto. They were trolling us actively.
Yes. So I feel like that was intentional because that was supposed to come last. But I love the way that the series pays an homage to television throughout the decade. Y'all know how I am with that kind of stuff. I enjoy sitcoms. I enjoy kind of the background, the film work, the history of television more so than watching TV. But I really enjoyed the series from the standpoint and what they tried to do, what they wanted to do. To me, they accomplished their goal, and I'm looking forward to House of Harkness for different reasons than Ron.
I enjoy Kevin Hunt's talent on screen.
Yeah, okay.
That's all. Nothing more, nothing less.
And Monica Rambeau.
Now,
so anyway, we'll continue. This is the number one. So yeah, I'll go ahead and get into it. My number one, Why the Last Man. I'm joking.
That's bullshit.
Actually, give me a second. Is everyone?
We're about to do a wellness check.
is everyone familiar with like recruitment videos? Is everyone familiar with like recruitment videos where like people put on the hat? Give me a second. Hold on.
Oh Lord.
Oh God.
I'm scared.
What are we doing?
Sorry.
Setting us up.
This is why we need to have AJ out of the chat.
This is more cringe than Search Party.
Hey,
my number one.
Oh my goodness. I should have known.
My number one. Underground Railroad. And let me explain. So off top, Barry Jenkins is the best working director like at this moment. Might be like the GOAT by the time his career over. Colson Whitehead is one of the best American authors right now, along with so yeah.
You had this plan. That's the worst.
So yeah, I was gonna say like Jasmine Ward and Colson Whitehead are like the two best actors right now. But the way that Barry Jenkins really like got into like the subtext of the source material, expanded the stories it needed to be in ways that needed to be expanded, and contracted the stories in way it needed to be. And also the direction the story she's taking. It's just a beautiful story. And I let me say this. So I'm laughing at Joe's comment. So let me say this. there's a lot of talk about like black trauma shows, which is totally fine. But at
It's
the
fair.
same time, yeah, it's fair. I won't say you're wrong, but I will say this. What's when it's done right, it gives you three-dimensional characters and it shows you like the stakes. It shows you like what they were meant to lose. And Tizu Mbedu as Korra is like one of the best like performances of the year, which is spoiler alert. I just gave my
Best performance of the year.
yeah, I just gave one of my answers away. But no, Underground Railroad is it's a really important show. And it's a really important show, and it's a really important show, and like I said, Barry Jenkins is one of my favorite directors, and what scares me is that I don't think he'll ever make anything better than this. Like it's really that good. Like this is it's a magnificent show. The two Indiana episodes, like if you just take those episodes and make that a movie, it's fantastic. I do not have words for it. Like I'm actually like feeling my hair standing up, like talking about it. D knows what I'm talking about, but yeah, it's a challenging show. I will say that, but it's rewarding as well. Like I feel like you should challenge yourself to watch it, but I understand if you don't. But I feel like everyone should give it a shot. So for those reasons, my number one is Underground Railroad.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay.
Where was the shirt?
I just also want to say I was not laughing. We were not laughing at what Ron was saying. We were laughing at the chat, and he did not pull up those comments, so it's going to look like we were laughing at what he was saying.
Yeah. For those listening or watching, like there's some funny stuff in the and I was laughing too. There's some funny stuff in the comments, so that's what they were laughing at. But yeah. So D, I'll kick it to you. What's your number one?
Okay. Can y'all hear me? Okay, or is there a delay?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay. My number one is Ted Lasso. And the reason I made my number one Ted Lasso over Underground Railroad was because, like I said, Underground Railroad is so heavy, and Ted is more of a, in the times that we're in now, when you need to feel good or happy or jolly or just like that everything's going to be okay, this is the show for it. So that is why Ted is my number one. We talked about it extensively. If you like, you can go check our recaps out because they're on the site too. But yeah, Ted Lasso is my number one.
Courtney.
Mine is Squid Games. So I just am ignoring the irony of people capitalizing on the show. I just think the fact that it was like such like a small budget show, and it kind of course, people have done the trope like, oh, people battling it out for money, but it kind of had a message behind it, and not in like the faux intellectual way that I hate. It actually kind of was supposed to make people think, but they did not see the message. I loved the characters. And again, this is like another show where I just feel like that's where just like Netflix is really, that's where Netflix is great, is because otherwise we wouldn't be exposed to foreign language films at all. And I just think it's so, I'm worried about the concept of a second season, just because it got turned. It's supposed to be about like how capitalism, what it does to people, and then people immediately like there's Funkos of these characters, and I'm just like, that shouldn't be happening. But like I tried to ignore that. I'm like, because this is a show. It really just it's really great, I think, and I think everyone should watch it. And don't buy the Funkos. I just think that's very just tone deaf to what it's supposed to be about. I just think it was just so well done with the budget they had. The writing was really excellent. The acting was excellent. Remember that we do dubs, and we do subs, not dubs. So it's just, don't watch the English, because I've heard it really ruins. I've heard, like, here's the thing, because a lot of people didn't like it. If you watched it in English, it is a completely different show. The dialogue is so wrong from what I've heard people say, from what is said. So it's better to watch the subtitles.
Translation oftentimes misses subtext.
So that's why it's always better just to do subtitles, because you don't there's still some things that don't translate, but I always feel like the original, like just voices are always best to hear because that's what was directed and whatnot. So, yeah, he actually has a really good point.
So two things before we move to Ryan. First, this is actually the shirt I was wearing today, but I took it off for the show because I wanted to do a reveal. Yeah. So second thing, Joe also mentions this show called Dark, and thanks for reminding me that I need to finish the show because it was like on the top of my list. Like I feel like they came out like 2018. Fantastic show, German show. It's like Stranger Things, but like 10 times darker. Like really fantastic show. So thanks for reminding me. I need to go back and watch Dark on Netflix. So yeah, shout out to Joe. Ryan, did we already?
All right.
Yeah.
Drum roll.
I was gonna say, did you turn down the lights?
I did. I turned off the big light because it was starting to glare on something.
Oh, I thought you had a reveal like Ronnie. Go ahead.
I was like, do we have a t-shirt reveal?
You know what?
No.
Actually, wait. I can just do a color reveal. Here's the color reveal. I enjoy when I enjoy people that choose scenery. Okay, overact, make me like you can see where I'm going with this.
Nicolas Cage.
No, well, yeah, but if you come on and you steal the show with just being an absolute ham, and it works well with what's happening here, then I'm gonna love it 10 times out of 10. And this would have been so. The difference between this and my number 2 with WandaVision is I feel like WandaVision kind of messed up the landing, right? Like we got there and then we kind of at the end it works, but I don't feel like the landing was stuck as well as the landing was stuck in Loki. Those last 2 episodes, to me, I forgot about Antique Man.
How you forget Antique Man?
I forgot about Antique Man. But to me, the way that Jonathan Majors absolutely took the scenery, seasoned it, and
he always takes the scenery.
What else did he do? What did he do?
Chewed it up.
He chewed it up, didn't he?
I feel like let me put it in this context while they're being horny.
How I would not. First of all,
Jonathan Majors
mothers are here. There's no horny here. Okay,
our mothers are here. What does that word mean? Also. I don't know what that word means.
Y'all are also adults. Anyway, I
have
up. 4 children. You're not gonna do this with me. So to me, the finale of Loki is nothing but an exposition dump. That's all it is. It's an exposition dump.
But I liked it.
It's a way for them to set up the rest of Phase 4. But it's done so well to me.
Mm-hmm. Who did it well? Who was it that did it well?
Who was it?
Who was what? Was it Jonathan Majors that did it well?
The writers and the directors and the showrunner?
No, I think it was solely Tom Hiddleston and Jonathan Majors.
And whoever, I can't think of her name, was playing Sylvie.
Even though her name too.
But to me, why am I echoing? I hear something.
You're not on here.
It was just the butt.
Okay. So to me, having the two of them kind of close that scene together, you have this exposition dump. I randomly quoted He Who Remains lines every once in a while. Like if I give somebody a situation or a choice, I'm like, and that's the gambit. You know what I'm saying?
Do you say it like that?
Yes. Well, I stretched it out a little bit further. And that's the gambit.
Mm-hmm.
I did that with my kids, actually.
So you kind of chew it up like Jonathan did?
You got to chew it up. But to me, I feel like those last 2 episodes.
Do you chew it like slowly, or do you kind of like devour it?
How's
it going when you chew it up? How Do They Fall was magnificent.
Stop.
It's because your mom's not in the chat. That's the only reason.
Right.
You know what? I can bring her right upstairs. For those who don't know, Dee's mom is my downstairs neighbor.
She's resting. Go ahead, Ryan. I was the chewing. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
Okay, so anyway,
chewing it up.
The final 2 episodes of that series to me wrapped it up very well. I enjoyed everything with the Void, with Alioth. I enjoyed everything with the instrumentation when classic Loki is summoning all the stuff in the background, and they've got the rise of the
classic Loki alone was just so
the remix of that thing, the dun 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 dun, it is perfect. And to me, I feel like it in a way that where, you know, it doesn't, the first couple episodes aren't as strong to me as WandaVision's were, because I guess the mystery isn't that much greater to me. It stuck the landing so much, you know, much better. And the fact that we're gonna get a season 2, like, to me, it just, everything works out. It's the perfect series. It's my favorite of the year. I have rewatched it twice. It's perfect.
Cool. I'm glad. I'm always happy when people find something that they love that much, even if it wasn't like my favorite thing. Of course, it was, because it was so beautiful to look at. But I really like that people
even
like,
though they made us
really
wait.
enjoy it. That's cool.
They made us wait. But
all right, so everyone's done their number 1, right?
Yes.
I'm not
Right,
done with Jonathan Majors.
As I was saying, so is there? We could go around. Is there an honorable mention? Anybody want to shout out like a show that was still pretty good but didn't quite make your list? D, go ahead.
I have 2. One, I didn't put any of the Disney Plus shows on my list just because there were so many of them, but I really enjoyed COINTELPRO and Falcon. I liked WandaVision. I loved Loki. I liked Hawkeye, and I really liked What If, because there were so many different What If are like what do you call the short films within the series? Starts with a V. Vignette. Yeah, those. That's kind of what If is. It is all in one all-encompassing story. The 2 others though, Kenan, which is on ABC NBC. And Love Life, which is on HBO Max. I suggest both of those because Love Life, actually, both seasons of it were really good. But season 2 has Chidi. What's his real name, Ronnie?
Oh, William Harper Jackson.
William Harper Jackson is in season 2 of Love Life. He was also in Underground Railroad, but he's a great actor. So I suggest those 2 shows as my sleepers.
I like pull up my back laughing, but yeah. Courtney, do you have an honorable mention?
Again, like, these are shows I just enjoyed, and like I said, just because I love docuseries. The Bob Ross one, I really enjoyed. It was very interesting. Kind of made me sad for him. If you just watch it, it's just, he was done very dirty, and his estate didn't get to really see a lot of the money that has been made off of his image. So just don't, the Bob Ross Funkos and stuff, don't buy those. And then there was this one, it was like about, like, it was kind of spicy, just about like the Mormon church and like murder and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, the Mormons are,
what was it?
Go Blazers. But I think, let me look at it. I think it's called Murder Among the Mormons.
Oh,
it's just
I
like
saw that.
I really,
he had a bomb in the car or something.
yeah, and it was just like crazy. So like I like the board. I love docuseries, and also when I'm gonna vouch for, because I haven't watched like a lot of visual, but I've listened to a lot of like fictional podcasts this year because I started commuting again. And I highly suggest that people try to get into audiobooks or just fictional podcasts. Other than, ours is nonfiction, but just other podcasts than ours. The one I've really enjoyed, I'm going to make it count. If you don't count, I'm going to make it count. It's called The White Vault. It's a thriller type of podcast, and it's on its final season right now. Excellently done.
Cool.
I will check that out.
I will too.
Ryan,
I will also.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Ryan. I was just going to mention. Miss Angela mentioned Dexter: The New Blood.
I knew you were going to mention Dexter.
My cousin is like a super Dexter. He's not a stan, like he's not ridiculous, but he really, really enjoys Dexter. And he tried to get me to watch the original. So when the new one came out, he's like, "No, you really, really need to watch." So I think I need to start from like the beginning. But it's so many episodes, and it lasts a long time. Did it?
Yeah, I've never watched Dexter.
But I will, now that I've seen it again, I think I need to watch it just because. So that's what I'll do.
Well, along the lines of podcasts too that I will recommend before I get to my honorable mentions are Into the Red Clay, which is about basically it's like basically a bunch of hillbilly mafia people here in Gwinnett County, Georgia.
Hillbilly Mafia.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's wild. It's very
Okay.
wild. And I
Is
guess
it
it's
fiction
probably
or nonfiction?
oh, it's nonfiction. This shit happened. A lot of stuff involving moonshine and yeah. Anyway, so like there's a story in there somewhere where like a guy, one of the guys like sets his house on fire, trying to get rid of evidence. So he goes to the insurance company trying to get collect the money for it. Basically the guy, it was like an independent insurance company. Basically the guy was like, I'm not going to cover that. So he like shoots the guy, kills him, and then burns his house down.
AJ, I swear to God.
So yeah, like it's pretty crazy. The other one is one that's more comedic and it's called The Villain Was Right. And they basically go in and look at movies from the villain's perspective to see if they actually had a legitimate cause. And so the one they just did was the 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh my God.
But they also did like Sleepless in Seattle, or While You Were Sleeping, whatever one of those, like the Sandra Bullock rom-com where like she pretends she's a guy in a coma's fiance because she saved him from the subway. Like they just so it's really fun because they go in and just talk about how bad the premise is and why some of these things don't work, where the plot holes are. So if you like nitpicking stuff, that's a good one. Okay. My two honorable mentions are both animated series, and it's because I've been watching these with my kids, but they're very, very good. The Owl House and Amphibia, both Disney shows, both limited run Disney shows. I think they're both in their final seasons. Tell pretty interesting stories, have a lot of inclusive characters in there, and not just like one or two. Like Owl House is the only show that I know of where there's like several non-binary characters. And
on a Disney show, that's great.
On a Disney show. So but yeah, they're both pretty cool. Both, like I said, they tell concise stories. It's a lot of fantasy. So again, I watched it with my kids. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. And I would recommend it to anybody who is interested. You know what? I need to start back on them dad reviews.
You need to.
That would be great.
Do Bluey.
Bluey is fantastic. That show makes me feel like I'm a terrible
great
dad.
show. I'm like, I'm the worst mother ever.
I'm the worst dad of
all right.
all time.
So let me say two things before I get mine off. First of all, one of my favorite TV podcasts. This guy has writing credits on Legion. He basically was like a consultant on like Mr. Robot. He's a big time like TV guy. One of his favorite TV shows of the year was Bluey. And I was like, what the hell is Bluey? Also, let me quickly give a shout out to Glenn. He just hit us up on Twitter. He's given his 3 favorite shows. Number 3, Sex Lives of College Girls. Number 2, Harlem. Also a shout out to Dakari for working on Harlem. Yes. And number one, Invincible. So those are Glenn's 3 favorite shows. So yeah.
Gotcha. Harlem, I did watch Harlem and I enjoyed it also. The only reason that I have Run the World on my list over Harlem is because I saw Run the World first, and it just pretty much got priority bias, I guess. I saw that one first. But hey, both of them, watch them both. What's your sleeper?
All right, so my honorable mention starts with like a bit of a story. My wife and I couldn't be more different as far as like tastes go. So she's like, my wife's time is like, she's like, oh, you're about to watch your weird art house movie. I'll go in the room. But there's some times where she's watching something and I'll sit down and I'm like, hey, I like this. So she recently started watching Sex Lives of College Girls, the new Minnie Kaling show on I feel like it's on HBO Max. But yeah, it's really good, really funny. It's like a twist on like the classic college show, kind of like Skins and things of that nature. My other honorable mention is going to like shock everybody. It's actually a BET Plus show. It's the Miss Pat show. Yeah. So I love comedian Pat. Like I think she's hilarious, but this show is like it's like the single camera like family sitcom from like the 90s, but it's definitely like contemporary because she lets her words fly freely. But no, it's a really endearing show. Unlike most like sitcoms, it is also like serialized. Like it has a story that follows like throughout the show. And yeah, like you said, Tammy Roman is really good on it. So I sat down to watch that show, and then I like turned to, I was like, so you want to watch another episode? So yeah, like, but no, it's a really good show. So yeah, and I don't have time to get into BET's stupid strategy because bigger should have been on BET, not BET Plus, but whatever.
Thank you.
But yeah, so yeah, the Miss Pat show is really good. Get that free trial of BT Plus and watch it. I feel like it's only like 8 to 10 episodes, 30 minutes. But yeah, it's really good. So check that out.
Watch Miss Pat and Bigger, both of them for real. Do the free trial to watch those two shows.
But Courtney, I feel like we're gonna clear the lane for you because my next question, the most disappointing show of the year.
I'm ready. Let's go.
So yeah. I feel like it's unanimous. Maybe not for Ryan, but at least
right,
for like
everyone say it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Why the
Last Man. And you subjected me to it and made me. I was like, oh, it's about men dying. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. Why the Last Man's problem is that they have excellent source material. I mean, magnificent source material.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, top-notch source material. And whoever created the show for the screen decided that their version would be better than the source material. They were incorrect. And because of that, the show suffered bigly. I mean, huge. It was bad. And it was
like we quit our podcast on it halfway through because it was we couldn't even have fun hating on it.
It was bad. I finished it because when I commit, dang on it.
Angela, we're not going to tell you what network it's on because we don't. Your mom heard men dying. Let's go.
It might not even be on there anymore. They probably took it off.
And I was like, why are they not advertising it? And I was like,
they canceled this show before episode 9 aired. They're like, we're not bringing this show back.
So if you want to finish it, that's fine. But
you can't finish it.
No, they put all.
No, they put 9 and 10 out.
Where you go watch it? You can't finish it.
But they told us like
you can't finish the story. Yeah.
This is it. Go get the
characters. You can't care about the characters. You hate every single character. And it's not supposed to be intentional.
And the craziest thing is the very last episode, and I told y'all this, but this is how bad it was, y'all. First, we quit the podcast. We were like, we're not gonna do the recaps anymore. Mm-hmm. And the last 2 episodes, I was like, hey y'all, they're worth watching. It's fine. The last 2 episodes are actually pretty good. And both of them were just like, well, nah, I'm just not gonna do it.
I could not make myself.
And I even said, I'm like, no, you don't even have to watch the rest of them. Just watch the last one. I'm like, no.
You were like, no. We're like, no.
I did.
And she was like, oh, you don't even have to do a recap episode on it. And we're like, no.
We even said, we were like, okay, how about we just stop doing weekly and then we'll just watch the end and then we'll just do one big last, this show was terrible recap. And even Ronnie was like, you know what? No, we good.
No.
Like, well, we can't leave the people hanging. I'm like, no.
No, yes, we can.
All right, so before we move on to the next question, also Lee, shout out to Lee.
Hey, Lee.
Lee.
Lee likes
but yeah, let's move on to the next question. So we're in this weird space where there are a lot of miniseries, a lot of docuseries, but which shows are like going to have like the lasting power for like years to come? So what's your like rookie of the year show? This is a show that premiered this year that will get another season. And my show, I mean, like, spoiler alert, is Yellow Jackets. Like, because I already know, like they told me up front, like this is going to be a 5-season arc. So I'm ready for it. I know like they're going to cut it off like after 5 seasons. But yeah, Yellow Jackets, fantastic show. Ryan, we didn't hear from you, but last time. So what's your rookie of the year if you have one?
Rookie of the year?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have one because everything I watched was a miniseries this year.
Okay.
So I mean, I will tip my cap to Marvel, to MCU, for getting me engaged because I was kind of ready to be done. But other than that, I mean, really, no. I'll give it to Kevin Hart. I'll give it a True Story because I did not expect that.
Okay.
I didn't expect that with True Story. I didn't expect it to be decent, to want to at least keep me. I'm dead serious. Like, I will say that part of the placement for me, I mean, part of the placement for me was that, like, yo, okay, this is nice. Like, there's, like I said, there's like one thing in the beginning in like the second or third episode where I'm just like, okay, really? Kevin Hart's gonna do that.
Yeah, he didn't do that.
And against somebody twice. But anyway, there's a part in the beginning that makes me go, okay. But if I remove the fact that it's Kevin Hart and he regardless talks like this and like, you know, so that's all I'm good for is you know, deciding your fate and your future like that. If I can get over the fact that he just talks like that, no matter what the role is, then it's a pretty good series, and I have to tip my cap to that because he went in a different direction, and good for him.
And Will Catlett was in it.
Which one is who was Will Catlett?
Will Catlett was Hirsch, the bodyguard.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what his name was.
That's his name. His name's Will Catlett.
Well, anyway, Courtney, what's your
Like this is another thirst moment.
I wouldn't say so. I like when I think rookie, I think of course like a Dark Horse type of thing, but I don't know if I really wanted to extend to 5 seasons. Again, I've already shared a Squid Games, just because again, like it like there was no. Of course, it's a great show and all that, but like it's just organically just became this big show. I love it when foreign language, this media becomes big. And that it was so well done, but I'm really worried because it is just going to become like, I feel like if the continuation is not going to be that great. I don't know. It's just like when things are made about like critiquing capitalism and then it immediately gets capitalized on, you lose the plot quite literally, but by all means, like at a time where there were a lot of really other popular shows, like you said, like big company shows coming out, like it was the thing that people were talking about and are still talking about. So,
okay. Yeah, it's on you.
Rookie of the year for me is Kevin Kneff himself. It is the show's premise is that there is it's the thing that we've always been curious about, how on the sitcoms, there's always this very attractive woman with this not so hot husband that's lazy or just kind of floats through life or whatever. Like, give you an example, King of Queens or even Married with Children, that type of thing. And this show shows the realism of it where it does this really cool thing where it's all light and vibrant when it's the sitcom side of it, where she's the doting wife who takes care of her husband, who's always screwing up and spending all the money and doing all these things and doesn't care about her, blah, 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 blah. But then it goes to this darker tone of the show where it shows the real life ramifications of a life that this would be in outside of it being a sitcom with a laugh track. So it's a really cool thing the way they do it. I hate that a lot of people didn't see it because it was on AMC Plus. But if you have the opportunity, and I'm really, really hoping that AMC just plays it one day or just drops the episodes. I'm not sure if they did. But if you can get a chance to check it out, please do, because it's a very cool concept, and I hope it keeps going.
All right.
Yeah.
So
AJ, Honey Rose, Pimps, Flimps, all of them. Yeah. I'm with you, Mama Angela. Kevin Hart is a little difficult. But True Story, it was worth the watch. I'll say that.
My mom loves Kevin Hart, so I guess you'll like that.
Everybody else, and the thing is,
and Will
it's not a comedy, and I think that's what makes it different. If it was a comedy, I'd just be tired of him, but it's not a comedy, and because of that, I feel like able to get through it a little bit more, and everybody else around him shines too. So it's not like it's just Kevin Hart. It's Wesley Snipes, it's Herschel, it's what's her name, the comedian that writes for him, Billy.
Yes,
her name.
She's great too.
Billy is great. His agent is great. His manager is great.
What's his name? The guy Shade. I don't know his Shades because of Luke Cage, but I don't know his real name.
Yeah, I don't know his real name either.
But him,
he's great. Yeah, like it's just
We talked about Insecure. We did talk about Insecure. D did mostly.
Insecure was your what number?
My number 3, I think. Yeah, my number 3.
Yeah, and Insecure was my number 6. So yeah, Insecure, like, just to recap, like it was like fantastic final season, fantastic finale. So yeah, like shout out to Insecure.
Mm-hmm. We loved it. 100%. But yeah, that was it. I don't know what I'm looking forward to next year because I don't know what's coming out next year.
You were jumping ahead with the questions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
but no, seriously, I just wanted to quickly ask everybody if there is like a particular performer on TV, actor, actress that you could say like pretty much like won TV this year. Like who's your like which performance on TV you was like, okay, this is like
that's good.
Jonathan Majors.
I'll go out.
You damn.
You set it up. He
was in the show for 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes.
That's all he needed.
Please relax. I feel like that's a double entendre. Please relax.
Tara Strong minutes.
But no, why? So while you two are thinking on your answers, I'll give mine. So first is Tuzo Mbedu from Underground Railroad, and my second is Chandra Russell, who plays Zenobia. Zenobia, excuse me. The first time we see her introduction, because she plays a police on the show, and like her comedic timing is so funny. So the first time we see her, she's like, y'all don't have to be nervous. We're not gonna beat anybody down today. Like that's the very first time we see her, and she's freaking hilarious. So shout out to Chandra Russell, who plays Zenobia Thomas on Southside.
Y'all should really watch Southside. I know I mentioned it high on my list, but for real, it is really funny. It is really, really funny. Watch it, please. Mm-hmm. But yes,
yes, Joe. We do need buckets of water.
So is Southside Southside Chicago?
Yes.
Okay, I'm interested. You know, anything in Chicago, I love.
Yeah, and don't confuse Inglewood with Inglewood either.
Yeah.
They ain't the same.
You'll get it. You'll get it once you watch it. You'll get it.
I love it.
Inglewood and Inglewood.
Okay, yeah. I'm curious now.
Omaha State. Yes, but y'all should really watch it. It's really funny, for real. It's a really funny show. But yeah, that's all I got. I hope is Southside coming back? Do we know?
Yeah, I feel like Southside's coming back.
Okay.
All right. So I don't really have anybody, but since they're gonna be all like that, shout out to Tiffany Mitchell. Big Brother 23, call me.
See, we didn't go that far.
Exactly.
Trying to get.
I mean, she's doing a live. She's doing a live stream right now. So as soon as we offer this, I think go see what's going on over there.
Okay.
See, we didn't go there.
All right, so
we're just dedicated fans.
I didn't get hot and bothered when mentioning her, but if we're gonna do that, then call me.
I'm just saying, Jonathan Majors. It's a movie.
I'm interested in his success. Kids already. I'll be another
but he also did a great job in The Harder They Fall. You know, we want him to be great in all that he does.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you. But yeah, so we have two more questions before we depart. You know, back in the day, like you were introducing someone to like your favorite album or your favorite artist, you would play them one song. Like like is there like one episode of like your favorite show or like any of your favorite shows that sticks out where you would like show somebody this one episode to be like, hey, this is my favorite. I'll go first while you two while you three are thinking about it. I'm actually going to cheat and choose two. I'm going to go to Ted Lasso first, Beard After Hours, and then the follow-up episode, No Weddings and a Funeral. Like those two episodes are like the most Ted Lasso episodes in like two different ways, but they're fantastic episodes. And for them to come like back to back, like I think they were fantastic. So it doesn't have to be anything specific. Like obviously, like I'm a weirdo who knows like episode titles, but you could be like, oh yeah, episode like 3 or 4 of like Insecure or whatever. So is there like a particular episode you want to shout out?
Does it have to be from this year if we're doing the shows? Like it has to be this year?
I mean, yeah, it has to. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I gotta go with Underground Railroad. And
Indiana?
No, I don't think it'll be Indiana. It'll be wait, is Indiana the end?
Oh my gosh, Mom.
No, the end is Mabel.
No, not the end, like the next to last.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Yeah, the penultimate is Indiana. Yes.
Well, that's the one then. Yeah, Indiana from Underground Railroad. Because
Courtney, I see where you get it from, by the way. But
yeah.
There's a whole thing with Idris Elba because she thinks my old doctor in Atlanta looked like him. So anytime I'd have an appointment, she'd be like, "Can I come with you?"
Okay.
And she'd be like, "When are you gonna go see Dr. Hottie?"
Dr. Hottie.
This is my primary care physician.
Okay. So yeah, that would be my
Anyway.
Yes.
Anyway,
then,
I don't have. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say in Southside, seriously, it'd be the Omaha Steaks.
The Omaha Steaks episode is
I
hilarious.
really want to watch this now.
Or the one. Well, my favorite though is the one with Rosa Parks. I mean, with Coretta Scott King, but that was season 1. So season 2, Omaha Steaks. For sure.
Hey, Ryan, you should watch the show because you are in it. But yeah,
you're in it. You're a star of the show.
Google Diallo Riddle like when you have a chance.
Please.
I hate all
I wish we could put it on the screen.
But yeah,
I want to see. I don't have one because I have the object permanence.
Sorry.
I have the object permanence of a goldfish, so I don't remember unless it's in front of me.
No, it's all good. So I'll let you answer the final question first. Is there
I didn't get mine. You just
sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right to Dangerfield.
So the two that really three. The three that I have are I hate to keep coming back to True Story, but episode 3 of True Story just throws everything for a loop. The Agatha All Along episode for WandaVision, when that reveal drops, I feel like I feel like everything with that, from her going into the basement and it cutting from the sitcom film style to the movie, what is that, the 4-3 style, whatever it is, the cutting into the camera work, the pivot, and the Agatha reveal, perfect. It's the height of the series. I absolutely loved it. And then the last piece for me, I would definitely say combine episode 5 and 6 of Loki. Just the way that it wraps.
Yeah.
I feel
I would agree with that.
Yeah, that
it really was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know Dee and I joked, but like that final episode was just truly very well done.
And I appreciated giving us the meme of Miss Minutes holding a gun. So
it's just the best.
That's mine. Right. Now you may move forward.
All right, so this is the home stretch. Final question: is there a show coming next year that you're looking forward to? If so, tell the listeners.
I'm gonna remember it once this is done taping, but I have no idea.
Mine is very silly, but leave me alone. This was one of my favorites. Is the Proud Family reboot?
Oh, okay.
I'm so excited. I'm like ridiculously excited because that's like one of my favorite shows as a kid. I really hope can we just have like a Destiny's Child get back together for the intro? It's not going to be the same. I just hope that I'm really hoping, because like rewatching Proud Family as an adult, and especially in this time, there's some things where I'm like that I hope that they kind of improve upon. But I think it's a really good show, and from what I'm seeing about it, it looks very exciting, and it's a promising reboot. I'm excited.
What y'all got? I don't have anything.
So I have 3, and funny enough, one of my first show is a show that I mentioned last year, but COVID strikes. Is Tokyo Vice, a show that is created by Michael Mann about the Yakuza in Japan. It's about an American reporter going underground to investigate the Yakuza gang in Japan. So that is it. Obviously Atlanta, like that. Huh?
Oh yeah, Atlanta.
No, it's not foreign language, but also Atlanta, like obviously,
clearly
Atlanta. And then my third is Winning Time, about the rise of the Laker dynasty, that's coming on HBO.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I actually saw, like, again, that was like one of the very few YouTube ads that I saw something for, and I was like, oh, wait a second, let me actually watch this ad, and I was like completely enthralled. I'm excited about that.
So yeah, really excited about those
those 3 shows. And also while I'm here, I'm just gonna issue a statement. I know, like, because of the content we put out, I'm gonna get dragged into it, but I'm kind of that Disney narcotic. I can't make myself care about She-Hulk. I can't make myself care about Ms. Marvel. I will check out Moon Knight because if done right, that can be interesting. But as far the new Marvel shows coming out, like
there's a lot of fatigue. They're doing too much at once. I think that's the problem. They're doing too much at once, and it's Spider-Man was something I could get excited about, and also like it's characters that I already really liked because I feel like it's hard for me to not have fun with Spider-Man. That's a movie, but yeah, it's kind of like how Star Wars got. Other than, of course, Mandalorian. I'm excited about Boba Fett coming up because, again, Boba Fett's a character that is cool and I care about. So it's just these big franchises are doing way too much at once, and it's too much.
I'm ready for that Multiverse of Madness, though. I am ready for that.
Yeah, that's why I need to watch the Strange episode of What If. The Doctor Strange episode.
I'll read about it like Asia does. But.
Yeah, okay, but it's
that one is worth it. That one is that one dark.
It's dark. It's really dark. Is this Atlanta's final season, or is there one more?
No, they shot 3 and 4 at the same time, so this is going to be season 3.
So 4 is the final season.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready for Judge Steve Harvey. No, I'm joking.
What your ass say?
How is that allowed anyway? There is a show that I want to watch aside from a couple ones that y'all named, but there's a show I think it's on Netflix with Sandra Oh, and it's called like The Chair or something like that.
Yeah.
That I need to go watch, and part of me avoided it because it's higher ed related, and the last higher ed thing I saw I hated. That Julia Louis-Dreyfus movie, Admission. I hated that movie.
Oh, it's like your thing too.
Yeah, I hated it because it was all Ivy League focused. That's a whole nother thing. Anyway, that's one I do want to see. I know it came out earlier this year, but I don't really have anything in 2022. Something will catch my eye, just like I went into 2021 and was just like whatever, and got my heart captured by Paul Bettany playing an android and the other Olsen twin, Olsen sister. Vishon. So I'm still upset.
Oh my god, the memes were so. That's the thing. It's like Loki and WandaVision. The meme. All he had to do was put this British man robot in a turtleneck
with a gold chain.
With a chain.
Don't forget the chain.
Vishon for Halloween, and I thought of the
idea. Chain is what does it. Chain is what really sets it off.
Oh my god! I feel like.
It's it, Ryan. You could pull it off, especially you got that purple in the ambiance right now. You could pull it off.
I was trying so hard.
No. You could do it, Ryan. You can do it.
Well, I can't be Vishon now because the joke is gone. Like the joke is old now. I can't be Vishon for Halloween 2022. I could have done it for Halloween this year, but I can't do it for 2022.
Could.
It's gonna be too old.
Take a picture and then post it in the work.
It's gonna be the point where it's like, okay, so who are you supposed to be? And if that's the case, then don't do the costume, right? Okay. Like if I gotta explain it, like Waluigi was easy, but if I gotta explain Vishon because it's a 4-layer tier Twitter meme, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna work no more.
I got you. You can get away with it this time. You could always be boy from Southside.
Shut up.
Yeah, you could be Diallo.
Ron, can you put up a picture? Because we need to see his side by side.
Yeah, let me.
Yeah, we need to do a side by side.
I need a haircut.
I need to see this.
At least just bring Diallo up so people can know I'm not making it up. You look like him, dude. It's fine. He was on Insecure, y'all. He was on the first episode of Insecure when they went to Stanford.
Oh.
He was the one doing the moderation for the panel. It was Ryan. There he is. Look at you and look at him. Come on, man. Come on. You do.
It's the hair. I'm telling y'all, it's the hair, and it's because both lights.
Put on some glasses real quick.
It's the hair and it's
I used to wear the little fake glasses in 2010. I'm glad I don't do that no more.
Yeah, you should put them on now. That's what you do for Halloween.
I've been delivered.
Take those socks.
All right. Well,
from Inglewood.
I think that's where we'll this is where we'll stop. So first, quick shout out to everyone who has watched and listened this year. This was a pretty successful year for us. A shout out to for watching, for listening. We hit like some peaks with our podcast, with our YouTube show. So thanks for watching. Also things that are upcoming. Courtney and I, we will be taking on the Book of Boba Fett, so keep on the lookout for that.
Our moms are going to be so excited for this.
So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Dee and I will be also searching for like a show to watch once 2022 rolls around. Also,
Snowfall. Sorry, that's what I'm.
Oh yeah, Snowfall. Yeah. So yeah, we'll likely pick up Snowfall, and then Atlanta in 2022. Also, I guess I'm stepping away from this podcast capacity to do something else really exciting that I can't quite talk about right now, but be on the lookout for that. But yeah, like I said, just thanks for watching, thanks for listening. It's been a pretty good year, and we hope to continue the success. So please make sure you share, like, tell people about the podcast. But yeah, that's it. Any closing thoughts before we hop off?
I'd like to thank the moms of Kids Wear Crowns for supporting us. The Mom Squad.
The Mamas Wear Crowns.
The Mamas Wear Crowns. We need a Mamas Wear Crowns episode. Especially now that I see Dee's mom more than Dee sees her own mom. So every time she wants to talk, and then she's like, I got a candle for you. I'm so serious. It's like Michael's like, why do you have like a candle?
It's so wholesome.
I'm stealing everyone's moms is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Why did we introduce Courtney to our moms?
But we love you very much. We appreciate the support. Thanks for letting us cuss and not being too mad about it.
No, my mom's mad about it, but it's okay.
I will say that I'm hoping to get something in the works here soon. I've discussed it with everybody, something I'm kind of excited about. But I just gotta find the time. So yeah, shout out to everybody. Thank you, Samantha, for tuning in. I hope you recover well and recover soon.
Thanks, Samantha. Thanks, AJ.
Thank you, AJ. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks, Lee.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Yeah, it was so good to see Jonathan pop up in here.
Yeah, right.
Like I haven't talked to Jonathan.
Yeah, it felt like old times. Yeah.
Yeah, it really did.
Raz came on. Who else? Thanks everybody that came on. If we missed you, I'm sorry, but we do appreciate you.
Cousin
Drank. Usually that's my role. So I'm glad Ron to take it on.
Have a great 2022.
Bye. See y'all next year.
Peace.